Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm more docile in the morning, so my soft voice is on. Welcome to a live chat with a specialist that I have on coming on today. Um, I will actually wait for her to get on, but I wanted to speak about, or I wanted to have somebody else come on and speak to you guys about the importance of self care as an entrepreneur. And I know we get into this hustle and bustle as an entrepreneur, how we have to like knock it out, get it done, hustle, grind mode, the grind culture. I get it. I've been there, but the burnout is real. So let's start prioritizing our self care as an entrepreneur, taking time to reset and come back down off of the high of the hustle because we're going to feel it. We're going to feel that burnout. Um, so, yeah, I'm just going to give our guest speaker a little bit more time to hop on, but I wanted to come on to just give a brief intro on why I brought on this guest speaker, why it's important, and she's going to help us talk about some ways that we can woo-saw it out, calm down, and then get our minds right because our mind, body, and soul needs to be fed in order for us to keep running our businesses, right? We need that to keep going. And if our mind isn't right and our body isn't right, then what's the point of what we're doing? Health is wealth, y'all. Health is wealth. And self care is health care. All right. That is one of my mottos. That is one of the things that I preach. I am very, very big on self care after running myself ragged, opening my beauty salon while I was pregnant. And I just had to I ran into a wall. I ran into a wall and I completely burnt out. And I always tell people when I talk about losing my salon, how it was almost a blessing in disguise. Not almost, it was a blessing in disguise because I had to reframe and readjust how I was running my business and what I was doing. And that is why it is so important to establish a strong business foundation so that it's not just business, it's quality time with family, friends, and vacationing and enjoying life because we need it. We need more life. So I'm just going to give her a little bit more time to hop on. Hey, girl, no worries. Okay, hair. I see it.
No, don't
I
look
just
at
saw
that.
a post. I think you posted it, or I don't know. I think I followed. Okay, I was like, I just saw it.
Yeah. I know, right?
I like it.
That's like that in itself. Yeah.
I know. I like it. I like it. I like
Oh,
it.
thanks. I gotta finish it. But yeah,
No,
that's
it
why
looks,
I'm
girl. It looks good. The twist out is always it's a classic go-to.
yeah.
So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad you texted me because I was waiting in the
I
Zoom.
know.
And then something was like, as soon as I said out, I was like, I wonder. And I looked at my phone and I was
I
like,
said
oh,
I was like I was supposed to let you know because girl, it was a whole thing with Zoom. I was like, okay, I had a trial run earlier this week and I realized what I didn't realize. So I had to switch to this
okay, no, that makes sense. I'm
one.
here for it.
All right, awesome. So good morning. Thank you for being here. I started recording with it.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself. I kind of gave a brief intro on why we're doing what we're doing. It's the importance of self-care as an entrepreneur and why we need to prioritize that as well as our business. So just tell us your name, what you do, what you're about.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Marlene, for having me. My name is Lesline. I am the founder of Lesline Does Wellness, where I teach yoga to busy moms. So when you hear yoga, I know a lot of us, well, it can go one of two ways, but normally, like, yeah, that's my self-care time. So I thought it was wonderful that Marlene asked me to come on because yoga is self-care. And as entrepreneurs, we especially need self-care. A lot of us, are first generation doing this, and we can easily burn out. So, also a little bit about me, like what makes me qualified to do this. I am a registered nurse by trade. I've been a registered nurse for about a decade now. and I've been in multiple healthcare settings across Central Florida. So I've seen a lot of different types of things when it comes to people being at their most vulnerable, people coming in with type 2 diabetes, not knowing that they have type 2 diabetes, and it coming across as, having chest pain. That's like one of the worst case scenarios. They come in for chest pain, turns out they have type 2 diabetes, or, high blood pressure. That's another diagnosis that I see a lot. I would see a lot at working in the hospital setting. And unfortunately, a lot of our Black and brown people are the ones that I would see regularly coming in and out of the hospital. And there was a disconnect that I started to see, because I'm like, why do they keep coming back? And there's a lot of different reasons why, but long story short, that started driving the reason why I started my own business, Lesline Does Wellness, because I wanted to help people outside of the hospital. Preventative care is my jam. I could talk about preventative care all day. So yoga is a form of, yes, it's self-care, but it's also preventative care. And as our entrepreneurs, we need that. So you're not going to the hospital, because you hear these stories a lot from our entrepreneurs where they're like, I had a panic attack or whatever it was. And then they go to the hospital, and then next thing you know, they're diagnosed with all these other things. And like, oh my God, I didn't know. So if we practice that self-care, practice that preventative care, because for me, preventative care is self-care, then you are so much better for it. So that's
I love that. I love how you said, because a lot of times, listen, I don't know how many entrepreneurs I've spoken to that it's the anxiety and the, panic attacks. Like, I've had my fair share of panic attacks, and I know we talked about that before. And before I get too deep off into that, a little intro on how we met. I actually met Lesline last summer. I took it upon myself to step out of my comfort zone, which is what I tell you guys to do all the time. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I hosted my own networking lunch, or networking brunch. That's what it was. And I was just like, I just need to get out there and meet some people. I just wanted to connect. And look at us now. It is January, and me and Lesline this is not our first collaboration, and or second or third. We have gotten together on many, many things and projects, and she is what I call like my business bestie. So it was obvious to have her on here to talk to you guys about this subject matter at hand. But the anxiety and panic attacks are real. Okay, like, let's not act like we don't be feeling it, that tightness in the chest and the hyperventilation. So I like that you touched on that about the preventive care as well. This is why I wanted to do this episode, because I feel like I'm telling you guys about the business end, but a big part of who I am is about self-care as well. I teach women, my clients, about self-care. I have to teach y'all about that too, and why that's important as a business owner and entrepreneur. So with that being said, I think the first question I had was, why is self-care important? And I think we kind of touched on that, but if you wanted to add anything to it, please take it away.
Yeah, I feel that self-care, when you asked that question, what just came to my mind is, I feel like society right now, we still make it seem like it's like a luxury, but it really isn't. Like, self-care, it's necessary. Like, it goes right alongside of like, oh, I have to use the bathroom. Like but I feel like the way that it's marketed is that, oh, I'm gonna go and do this bubble bath. Like, you can do the bubble bath today on Thursday. You can do it on a Tuesday, like at 2 p.m. Like, self-care is necessary. And bubble bath's the first thing, that comes to my mind. But there's so many things that is self-care. Like, I even think of going back to preventative care, but I was thinking this last night, brushing your teeth. Like, that's preventative care, making sure you're brushing your teeth 2 times a day. Because if you don't know this already, oral health is connected to your cardiovascular health. And that can like, if you're not brushing your teeth and flossing, that can go to you putting yourself more at risk for other conditions. So anyway, self-care is very important.
Sorry, I just remembered something to piggyback off of what you said about how it's preventive care. Like, I'm coming from a place of the beauty industry. A lot of us, we go so hard, we're behind the chair or sitting down in the chair between nail techs, hairstylists, estheticians, the back. When we're doing facials, breaking our back. So like if you are not taking the time out of your day at some point to stretch, that is self-care. And that is preventative care, because you will get, what is it, the back thing, scoliosis or what, all that. And my mom, she has all types of conditions. My mom has been a licensed cosmetologist for 30 years. She had a PD, I think it's called the where the a blood clot in her leg that moved through her body.
Oh shoot! So DVT.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, you're a nurse because you know the medical. She had got that from years of standing up behind the chair and not stretching. And she has a slew of health problems now. And it's just a matter of time before they catch up to you. You know, we're young now. We got this and that. No, it's today. It starts now. That's why self-care, like when I talk about self-care, like you said, it's marketed as luxury, but it's necessary. We need to do it, especially in the industry we're in beauty. And as an entrepreneur, like you have to stretch, you have to move your body, go for a walk, keep your blood flowing, you know, keep your body going. So can you help us understand how we can prioritize self-care?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing about your mom, because you know, I, as an outsider of the beauty, I'm not in the beauty industry, but I like to get my nails in and all these things. And it's true, like y'all are like hunched over all of the time for hours on end. Like, I don't know when you get a drink of water in, like, it's like these basic things that I don't really think of as an outsider. And just one thing I wanted to say, like, you know, if you're standing up all day too, like if whatever you're doing as a beautician, like, put on compression stockings. Like, I know that's not cute, but as a nurse, like I used to work in the hospital. I would wear compression socks, and I would wear, and I forget the brand, but make sure you're wearing good shoes, because foot health, foot care, like for you guys beauticians who are doing pedicures all day, y'all see these people's crusty feet. So like make sure your feet are good too. Like put those ugly stockings on, put those good shoes on your feet, so you're not what Merlene is talking about. What her mom had was a blood clot. She had a blood clot, and what happened, it detached from her leg and it went all the way to her heart, which then causes impending doom. You feel like you are going to die.
She sure almost did. Yeah. The doctors were like, this is, how did you walk in? And she walked, mind you, she didn't call 911 because, you know, my mom was Haitian. We Haitian. So that she was like, I'm not favoring no ambulance. So she had my dad drive her, and not to the nearest hospital, to a special hospital that she liked. So yeah, that whole story is another stuff. Yeah, my mom is, you know, when she came in, they were like, how are you still here? And she was feeling that for days. And it's like that y'all gotta listen to your bodies, man. It's setting ourselves up. We gotta move our bodies. We gotta listen to our bodies. Sorry, I just kind of cut you off.
No, that's okay. I didn't answer your question yet, but I was just saying that, making sure beauty people that you're wearing some kind of compression stockings. And then what was your question again?
Oh, about how can we prioritize? Like, what does that look like? Because I know a lot of people are like, okay, people say self-care, but like, what does that mean? Like, how do I do that?
Right. So for beauty people, like you're in a salon all day and you guys are booked and busy because we all want to look good for IG. So I can assume it's like back to back appointments, right? So my suggestion, if you're able, like if you have some kind of watch or something that can remind you, and it's already preset. So if you have this already, you probably are ignoring it. But every hour your watch will say, get up. It will tell you to get up. If you if it's not in, you know, financial means for you to buy a watch, we all have a phone. So I suggest that you set a timer for every hour, set an alarm, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, and make it an alarm that's very annoying where you're like, what the hell? And then it's saying to you, get up.
Yeah.
And then you get up. So whatever you're doing, like if you're in between, like doing the nails or whatever it is, like I understand that kind of stuff happens. So maybe you're in the middle of a facial and you can't just walk out, but in between the clients, at
Yeah.
least in between the clients, do a stretch. So you can simply just put your arms up, do side body stretch. You could do that. Then if you're standing all day, like you were saying, you guys are always on your feet, I would encourage you. I don't know if you can't really sit at any time.
Oh,
So
yeah. You're going to have to try.
okay. So
I tell my mama that, and my mama still works, mind you. She refuses to retire. So what she does is between, and I'm gonna have her on too, because y'all thinking, oh, you're just dragging your mama. No, she's gonna get interviewed too. So don't think that she's spared from this little talk that we have. It anyway. She gonna tell her point of view. I make her, because she won't stop. Between clients, she has to sit down, and she has to sit down for at least 20 minutes. And I feel like with cosmetics, with being a hairdresser or hairstylist, it's you will find pockets of time, because when you have to throw your client under the dryer to process a deep treatment or a color or whatever, if they're doing a roller set, you got time to put your feet up.
True.
And yeah, you could be doing another client, but don't double book. Don't double book. Now I'm hitting a few nerves, because I know look. That's a whole nother topic, double booking, but we're going to get to that in another video. Today's about self-care.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So going back, so Marlene told me you guys can sit down, so that's good to know. So then you do your stretch, right? You inhale your arms up, palms facing each other, exhale, go one side, exhale, go the other side, then sit down, right? Sit down. And if you're able, I'm imagining you have like the little chairs and the big chairs, right? Like that you put, if you're able to, I would encourage you, there's a pose called waterfall pose that we do in yoga. And it's where your legs, like typically we lay on our backs and our legs go up on the wall. So what that's doing is that's bringing all the blood that's been pooling in your feet back down into your upper body, into your heart, ideally all the way back to your brain. So it gives you that burst of energy. It's called waterfall pose. But if we're in the setting of a salon, just elevate your feet at least, if you can, like a 45-degree elevation. I would encourage you to do that. Like Marlene said, like while your client is under the dryer, sit down, put your feet up. If you don't got the 45 degrees, at least just put your feet up. And then to add to that, close your eyes if you can. Like the client's under the dryer, like, close your eyes if you can for like a minute, because maybe the client does need you for something. Close your eyes for a minute and just notice how you feel. Check in with yourself. I also like to tell people, like with grounding, because you guys are busy, like you're very busy, and you could feel disconnected from your body, where you're just like, oh my God, because I hear it from when people are doing my hair. They're like, oh my God, and they're like, the salon person's, the beauty tip person's telling me this. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. I need to get my service. But I would encourage, in between your clients, as you're sitting and your eyes are closed, putting one hand on your heart, like under, and you see I'm going under my shirt and feeling the warmth of your skin, and then putting the other hand under your shirt on your belly. This is what we call grounding, and it's very important to ground yourself so that you're able to tap into your body and just feel connected to yourself. Because I know a lot of us probably feel like out of sorts, like you feel like this, like that's how you feel. So just going like that.
It's so cool that you said that. Sorry, because that like, it makes sense. I felt like that the other day, and I was like, man, I don't know what's wrong. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. I don't know. It was just like I felt out of balance, like out of myself, if you will.
And that's so with out of myself, off balance, those are all signs that you need to ground. So I like to even just shift the mindset of that, and instead of saying like, oh, you should, you need. You see how it just changes already? Like it's necessary. Like I need to ground myself. And like, don't, like, as beauticians, like, don't beat yourself up. Like, you guys are helping people feel better, right? But you have to take care of yourself, because also when you feel better, the brows that you're doing for us look better, the hair you're doing for us looks better, the nails. And with that being said, when you take care of yourself and our stuff looks really good, we're going to tip you better. So it's a win-win when you take care of yourself.
Yes.
So
you are not lying. And it reflects. I know for me personally, and I know it is for everybody else, especially when this is a craft that we do. Yes. Your craft reflects your emotions and feelings. You know, it just does. I know every single time when I'm doing a set, I'm like, this is not my best work. Because it is like that some days. Some days you're off. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. And guess what? Your clients, they know you. Y'all have a relationship enough where it's like, girl. And it's like, yeah, I know. But next time I got you, it is. Like some days you are off. So yes, all that is great. And that, I mean, we kind of, I don't know if we really touched on burnout, but that all of this kind of plays into how to avoid burnout, which is the main thing that people run into, which is when they don't realize they haven't been doing the self-care. It's preventive care. It's preventative care. All of these things that we're talking about is to prevent the burnout, because you will get burnt out. It happens to everyone in the beauty industry because of the long hours, the back-to-back clients, the double booking. We have to do better as beauty professionals to take care of ourselves, because nobody else is going to do it for us.
No.
To the point of avoiding the burnout, those same tips that Lesline was touching on. Take some time to stop double booking. Like, I know double booking gets you more money. I know it. Yeah. But what is it worth at the end of the day if your health is increasingly declining? Because it declines at a faster rate for what we do. We're working hours on end for weeks on end, and we get to a point where it's like you're a zombie.
Yeah.
Your body aches, your back aches, like, so to avoid burnout, like, even at the end of the day, like after you're done with the day, even if you didn't have time to do all these things, at the end of the day, you need to take time out for yourself. And Leslie, so I know we talked about what to do in the middle of the day. Well, at the end of the day, let's say you have time now. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are some things that we can do to just completely release the day away?
Yeah, that's a good question. So going back to what I said with waterfall pose. Waterfall pose, once you're home, or even if maybe you're not home, the salon is closed and you want to lay on roll out some kind of towel, lay on the towel, put your feet up on the wall. Start with that. And then going back to what I said, putting one hand on your heart, feeling the warmth of your skin, like touching your skin, and then one hand on your belly, and then do 3 deep breaths. So you're in this waterfall pose. And what that's doing again is that's bringing all of that blood, because you've been standing on your feet though for 12 hours probably. You're bringing all that blood that's been pooling in your feet, bringing it so it trickles all the way back down into your belly, into your chest, and ultimately comes back to your brain. So then you're like, oh, I feel energized. And yes, you feel energized because blood, we all have blood, and it carries oxygen. Our red blood cells have oxygen. So when you think about it, if all that oxygenated blood is now in your feet, is not in your brain, that's why you're feeling tired, right? That's one of the reasons. I'm not saying that's the end all and be all, but so when you do this yoga pose called waterfall pose, you may, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, you may notice a boost in your energy. So an energy boost. So you can do that at the end. Yes, it is the end of the day. You're like, why do I need a boost of energy? But, so you can just, you may have other things you have to do, because I know a lot of us may be caregivers of some sort. So doing this, before you have to take care of the kids, the husband, the partner, whomever it is, but breathing. So making sure you're really breathing. I know a lot of us say here, especially these past few years, just breathe. But how do you properly breathe? Because a lot of us are not properly breathing. Make sure you're breathing in both of your nostrils. So you take the deep breath in through your nostrils, let the air come back to the back of your throat, into your chest, into your belly. So now when the air is in the belly, you're going to want your belly to expand. Expand your belly. Expand your belly. and then hold it, and then let it out through your mouth. Let's do that again. So in through your nose, both of your nostrils, back of your throat, rising your chest, down into your belly, expand your belly, expand your belly, expand your belly, hold it out through your mouth. So you notice, you know, you might feel like, oh, I feel really relaxed. Yeah, because we just activated our parasympathetic nervous system. So a lot of us, especially you guys as beauticians, you're living in, so we have our central nervous system, and this is my nurse hat coming on. We have our central nervous system. This is when you're like, my nerves, like this is that. So your central nervous system, there are two aspects of it. You have your sympathetic nervous system, which a lot of us, especially as a beautician, you're in that a lot. It's that fight or flight. The clients are like, can I get booked? And then you're triple booking. And then it's like this whole thing. And you're constantly living in this, like, I have to get more money. I have to get more money. And you know, hopefully Marlene touches on this, but that whole scarcity mindset, as if like you're going to run out of clients. But if you're taking care of yourself and you're raising your vibration, everything is gonna attract to you. And then you're gonna notice that you can charge your worth and more. Charge your worth and more, right? So then you're not double booking. Then you just have whatever that, I don't know how it works in the beauty world,
Yeah.
but then you have one client and you're giving your all to that one client. So that's why self-care is incredibly important, because then you're going to start to realize, as you're doing this yoga, as you're meditating, as you're journaling and praying, these are all different aspects of ways that you can do self-care. You're going to notice, oh, wait a minute, I'm worth more than I'm charging. And then you're gonna be like, I'm tired of being burnt out. And I just wanted to also put, I don't know if the definition, but I found a definition, like, what is burnout? And burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. I don't like that ending part, the constant demands, but it's just, that's when you're burnt out. Like everything is, you're exhausted. And just real quick, going back to the sympathetic nervous system, you're constantly in that. So you're constantly in your sympathetic nervous system. So you're like, okay, Lesline, how do we activate the other part? So there's two, right? There's a sympathetic nervous system and there's a parasympathetic nervous system. How do you activate the parasympathetic nervous system? First, what is it? It's the relax, it's the calm, it's the flow. It's when you just did those 2 breaths with me and you're like, man, I feel really good. Or
I
you
felt
yawn.
a little lightheaded. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And you may feel lightheaded because if you don't practice this way of breathing, this was deep belly breathing that we just did, your brain is like, whoa, this is different. You're taking in oxygen in a different way. So being lightheaded is expected. And just make sure that you just get up slowly. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. But we were activating our parasympathetic nervous system and also tapping into our vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve is tied into the parasympathetic nervous system. And this is what's helping you relax. Real quick, but I don't know if you guys have heard the story with like Elvis or like old people, like they die on the toilet. It's because when you're sitting on the toilet, you're typically relaxed because you're how you're sitting and you're about to poop. So you're activating that nerve. And so older people, they'll die on the toilet because they activated their vagus nerve. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting to hear. I'm like, I've never heard of vagus. I mean, from a medical standpoint, it's very interesting to hear about. But
yeah. So that's what we want to tap more into is our parasympathetic nervous system, which is tied into your vagus nerve. So our vagus nerve, it is connected I'm not going to get into all of that, but when I'm saying breathe into your chest, breathe into your bellies, because we're tapping into that vagus nerve, which is connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, which makes you feel lightheaded, which makes you feel relaxed, and all these feelings that we're not normally used to, but we deserve to feel this way. We need to be feeling this way majority of the time. And the last thing I want to say is, you're gonna feel stress. Like, stress is a normal part of life. But the more that you practice self-care, right? The more you practice self-care, you will start to notice, like, oh, I'm starting to feel stressed. And so then that's where mindfulness, which is another aspect of yoga, that's where mindfulness comes in. So don't beat yourself up, or you're like, man, I've been doing this yoga, why am I stressed? That's normal. That's life. You're gonna feel stressed. I still feel stressed. Like, I'm a mom. I don't know if I said that, but I'm a mom. I have a 4 and a 3-year-old, and I'm also married. I also work a full-time job. So stress is like, it's there, but there's things that I know to do, which I just shared all of those things with you all. Those are some of the things in my toolkit that I use as a mom that has a very full life to keep myself centered and to activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
Wow, this was so informative. Thank you so much. I even learned some few things. Now, all right, Lesline is a yogi. I think I'm a yogi too. I dibble and dabble, but no, I'm definitely a yogi. But so tell us where we can find you, and all of this information that she's providing, I'm also going to put it in the caption section of this video as well. So
yeah. So first, you can find me on my website, which is my name, leslinepittman.com. That's spelled Lesline, Pittman, Pittman.com. And once you go there, you're going to see a sign up free yoga challenge. It is a 7-day yoga challenge for free. And I will be giving you 1 yoga pose a day that will activate what I've been talking about, will help you relax. So yes, the word says challenge, but it's just some marketing stuff.
Yeah,
but not a challenge. It's actually self-care. It's 7 days of self-care that you can do under 5 minutes, which is perfect for you all because you are beauty people, and I know you don't have time. So this is the thing that you need, especially if you're like, I like your vibe, Lesline. Let's stay connected. Again, LeslinePittman.com. All of my socials are at Lesline Pittman. I'm everywhere. Marlene can tell you we're both everywhere.
And she is very active, y'all. Y'all go on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. She's in there, and I love it. I love it because you know what she does? She reminds me, because I've done her challenge, and there were times I was like, man, I feel, and I'm scrolling on, you know how we get trapped. We're scrolling, and then I see Leslie, and I'm like, let me get up and do my challenge. Let me get up and do my stretches. Leslie will be on it. She's going to remind you. So please, y'all, go follow her everywhere and anywhere. Even if you're not one place, she's going to be there. She's going to be on all places, because we need that. We always about getting the money. We're going to get the money. The money going to come. But y'all need to take care of yourselves, because health, in the beginning of this, I said health is wealth. And self-care is healthcare. Okay.
It is.
Like, we have got to prioritize. We're like that grind mentality, that hustle mentality. Not saying to throw it away, but we need to mix in the self-care mentality. Like, mix it in there and make it an even balance. Okay? We're gonna hustle hard on certain days, but we got to take care of ourselves on certain days and certain times of the day. So thank you so much, Lesline, for being here and educating us on a lot of things that we didn't know. I knew about self-care and how important it was, but you really broke it down. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. And you guys, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, like, comment, subscribe, go follow Lesline. You can see her on all of these social media outlets. Thank you guys again for being here, and I'll see y'all on the next episode.